Superheroes are done.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are reviewing The Boys Season 5 finale. Of course, got the Hawaiian shirt on to honor none other than Butcher, the absolute GOAT. And before we get into this, just know that this review will contain a lot of spoilers for the finale and kind of the entire series in general. So if you have not seen The Boys or you haven't seen The Boys finale yet, please stay away from this video until you are caught up. But anyways, without further ado, I'm just gonna say right off the bat, I thought this finale was great. Pretty much this entire series from the start has all been leading to one goal, which is taking out Homelander. So now at the end, finally getting to watch that showdown actually happen felt so rewarding. The only real issues I had with this final episode was there was maybe a few scenes early on where it didn't feel like we were fully in finale mode yet. Like some of the early stuff with Sage when they were trying to figure out if Kimiko actually had the power of Soldier Boy yet or not. I thought that stuff was a little like, okay guys, we got an hour left. Can we please get a move on? I'm getting very nervous. But once it actually got going, really from the scene of the boys sitting in the room where Butcher's giving them the talk about one last go, really from then on it felt like, oh shoot, like we are actually in the end game now, let's go. A very nice early on scene in the episode that I actually really liked was Frenchie's funeral. Opening this episode with Frenchie's funeral right after seeing him die at the end of last week. I thought that was a very somber way to start it and kind of solidify that, yeah, this really is the end for these characters. I thought that was a great way to start the final episode. And it was also not the last funeral that we got in this episode. But to get there, first we obviously need to talk about the actual big finale part of this episode, everything that went down at the White House. First thing I want to talk about here is how they handled Ashley this episode. Finally, after 7 years with this show, after 5 seasons, seeing Ashley finally make the right decision for once, I thought was just great. After all this time, after all these chances she had to do the right thing, now Ashley finally did it. She finally turned on Vought and helped the boys. I thought that was just so rewarding to finally see actually happen. Then, speaking of rewarding, next big thing I want to talk about, Annie versus the Deep. This has been coming since episode 1 of the entire show. Annie's first introduction to how awful the world of the Supes was, how awful and abusive the world of Vought was with what Kevin did to her in the first episode of the series. So getting to see her just absolutely destroy him for the absolute pathetic dirtbag that he is was amazing. And I thought that it was really nice that even in this White House raid, the characters of MM and Huey got something to do. Because obviously Starlight, Butcher, Kimiko, they're the big, strong, superpowered people. They're the ones that can do the real fist-to-fist fighting with the superheroes. But MM and Huey having to get more creative, improv more to take out O-Father, I thought that was a great scene and really reminded me of what the early days of this show more so felt like, when they had to get creative to kill the Supes and they couldn't just rely on pure strength to do it. And then we got to the Oval Office. And the climactic fight that this entire series has been building to finally occurred, and it could not have occurred any better. Kimiko using the blast to take away Homelander and Butcher's powers truly gave us the most satisfying final confrontation between the two that we could have had. Because this entire series, Homelander has always said, I am better. No one is as strong as me. And now, with all of those powers taken away, we finally just get to see man-to-man Butcher versus Homelander. And Butcher gets to show to the entire world that without a shadow of a doubt, Homelander truly is nothing. And everything that Homelander has had coming to him throughout this entire series, Butcher finally gives him. And the cherry on top for Frenchie, for Becca. The only thing that I maybe would have wanted more out of this scene is just to see Butcher beat the crap out of Homelander even more. Because I honestly could have watched that for like 10 minutes straight. I'm not even joking. Every one of those hits, every single ounce of blood drawn felt so amazing to see happen. But after that scene, I was kind of like, okay, what now? And even at the end of that scene, Butcher kind of has a look on his face that he's not fully satisfied. So the direction that they then took in the latter half of this episode, I thought was a great direction to go with this finale that I did not see coming. Ryan doesn't want to go live with Butcher, and you can't blame him. Butcher is a very, very flawed man. And with Terror dead on top of that, every last tie that Butcher had to Becca in his life is now kind of gone. Which means that any last ounce of humanity or hope at living a normal life again for him is also gone. So Butcher now decides he must kill all Supes because taking out Homelander was not enough. Taking the Supe-killing virus to Vought Tower, planning to set it off in the morning when all the Supes get there, and spread it to the entire world. Then Huey is the only one who sees this and follows him there. So now seeing Huey have to follow Butcher into the main room of Vought Tower, once again going all the way back to the first episode, the very first thing that Huey ever had to do for Butcher was go into the main room of Vought Tower to plant the bug. Now he has to go in there to try and desperately stop him from setting off this virus. And because, just like he's done throughout the whole show, Butcher does not know how and when to stop, he won't stop, he gives Huey no other choice, Huey has to take him out. And I thought this final heart-to-heart that they gave these two characters as Butcher was bleeding out was so beautiful and such a great end to Butcher's story. And Huey killing Butcher was the best thing that he could have done for him, because if Huey had not done that, Butcher would have just continued down this nothing but vengeful, painful path, bringing more and more death and destruction with him until God knows when. So seeing Huey finally get to free him of all those burdens, everything that has plagued him since what happened to Becca that sent him down this spiral years and years ago now, I thought was just a great, great way to finish off his arc. And the even more beautiful ending to that arc, seeing Butcher's funeral, and he's finally buried right next to Becca, finally getting to rest with her just like he always wanted. And then we go into the epilogue of the show. I've been saying for a while now that I think the perfect ending to this show would be doing a final montage set to Piano Man where we just see all the characters living their lives, because obviously Billy Joel's been a giant part of this show from the start, and I thought this would just be a beautiful way to end it. And I cannot tell you the emotion that I felt when I heard those first notes of the song start playing after Butcher's funeral. I was like, oh my god, they're actually doing it. And then finally getting back with his wife and seemingly adopting Ryan, that's perfect. Kimiko now living out the life that Frenchie and her wanted, that's perfect. And the very final scene of this episode, the very final scene of the entire series, being Huey working at his new electronics shop that he owns, calling all the way back to the very beginning of the show, where in both instances he then goes and steps out onto the curb with his lover. But this time, instead of a superhero coming through and causing terror that sent his entire life into a spiral, now a superhero is flying off to save the day. And what's better? Annie and Huey's baby is named Robin. Absolute cinema. So overall, I thought this was just an extremely satisfying end to this series that I have loved so much. Minus a few very minor complaints, I really don't think I could have asked for a better finale. I also loved that montage in the credits showing the crew that has brought this amazing show to life over the years. I am certainly going to miss this show a lot, but I am very, very happy with how well they stuck the landing. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like down below so that I can see that you enjoyed it and so that I can make more content like this in the future. Normally, at this part of the video, I would tell you to go follow me over on Letterboxd, but since this is a TV show, I'm actually going to tell you go follow me over on Serialized if you have it. Also, make sure to be on the lookout for my The Mandalorian and Grogu review, which will be dropping in the next couple days. But until next time, I guess I'll see you in the movies. Bye!